honestly just to really be grateful, like to really channel like deep down like what you're really grateful for, not just writing things down that are random, like, oh, I love my dog and my brothers and my parents. It's like that's great to be grateful for those, but to really, you have to really focus on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for
Yeah.
example, instead of just writing down I'm grateful for my two little brothers, instead of that I would think about all the fun trips that we took together. You know what I'm saying? And just like really
Mhm.
start to reminisce and just get that positive feeling, like, yeah, that was like really cool, I'm glad we got to do that. So that's like a huge difference, besides just like writing it down or just thinking of random positive things.
This episode has been brought to you by yours truly. Support this podcast by purchasing the How to Experience Abundance Through Gratitude course, and you'll be going from lack to abundance in 7 weeks with easy and fun exercises. Plus, the commitment is less than 10 minutes per day. It's only $50 and you can get it on georgianbenta.com/abundance or just visit the link in the description. Once you get it, you have 30 days to change your mind.
Welcome to the Gratitude Podcast on www.georgianbenta.com, where you'll hear a new story each week that will inspire more gratitude in your own life. Our mission is to inspire 100,000 people to discover how to feel gratitude and live a happy life through the amazing life stories of our successful guests and their actionable tips. And now, the host of our podcast, Georgian Benta.
Welcome to a new episode of the Gratitude Podcast. Today, we will be talking with a brilliant artist that I'm really happy to have here. Not just because he's talented, but he's also on a mission. And I think art is a great way of getting ideas across and actually helping many people. Struggling artists in the music industry face personal obstacles such as anxiety, mental irregularities, and some fall into substance abuse. Nate, our guest today, overcame all of this and wants to help others. Nate is an R&B artist who is passionate about faith and inspiring people that struggle with anxiety, depression, and substance abuse. Nate Setto is a rising R&B artist, and as a Michigan native, he grew up with a passion for music. He began writing songs when he was 7 years old and pursued a music career at the age of 20. He just launched his latest single, Novocaine, where he's working on shedding some light to listeners who are struggling with anxiety, depression, and substance abuse, because he wants to remind people that they are not alone and that there are better ways of dealing with depression. Nate, welcome to the Gratitude Podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me, man.
Sure thing. So, let us know a little bit more about you, about your story. I'm sure that I managed to mention some of the main things, but there's always more to it, and I'm always curious about that.
Yeah, I'm actually currently living in Grand Blanc, Michigan, which is just a little bit north of Detroit, and I'm just currently promoting my latest single, Novocaine, and basically the reason why I even wrote that song was because I was going through like a lot of anxiety and depression like last summer mainly, and I generally write positive music and like upbeat music and just like about like general topics like love or whatever, or partying or stuff like that. But I wasn't in that mood. I wasn't in a really partying mood. I was actually just really stuck with my mental stress. And so with Novocaine, I basically just wanted to express what I was going through and just to kind of share it with people, just so like, because I know I'm not alone. I know a lot of people go through it, and one way I was dealing with that stress was from like drinking. Really, that was like my main thing that I was using, and so I just kind of wanted to remind people that there's other ways to go about it, and there's a lot of things to be grateful for that will keep you going.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great way for all of us to deal with this. Of course, gratitude is great, and we will be talking more about how gratitude can help with depression. But just expressing it one way or another, and maybe using art to do that and putting it out there for other people, I think that's also a great way of dealing with it, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So um, I think it's important to know that you're not alone and that you're not the only one going through that, and your music is doing that, and I think it's great.
hmm
So I wanted to ask you, um, what has been your experience with gratitude? Like when did you finally get it? Like actually live it, not just hearing about it and stuff like that.
What's funny is that I've had my ups and downs with gratitude over the years. And, with me coming out of this depression, just in the past few months or whatever, I would say like this past 2 weeks, actually, I really started focusing on gratitude. And, it's just something that I learned that really changes your whole energy, just changes your whole mood, and it really makes all the difference. And I've been doing that. I would start off the day like the very moment I wake up. I wake up and I with good energy, no matter how tired I am, and I say I'm gonna have a great day today. I just I exaggerate it, and from there it just keeps snowballing into a better and better day, and that's what I've been really focusing on the past 2 weeks. So I'm really enjoying it.
Mhm. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, and it's exactly how it works. Like
hmm
when people start with this practice and they write down the things that they are grateful for,
Yeah.
they are much more prone to seeing other things that are great in their life, because we, even though we have struggles and have challenges, there's always something great that's going on in our life, and
hmm
we just need to see it. And I think it's an important part of our experience of life, because even if we don't have everything that we want right now, that doesn't mean that we can't be happy with what we have and appreciate it,
Yeah.
and yeah, have a different kind of perspective on it. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Absolutely.
um and I wanted to ask you a little bit about the things that make people go into substance abuse and things of this nature, because I think it's very interesting for us to see what's going on, and to find ways in which, if we are in the situation, to get out of it, and if we know that
Mm,
other people are going through it, to help them out as much as possible.
yeah. Yeah, just feel for me it was just I just wanted to get that feeling, that negative feeling out of my system, so I felt like
Mm-hmm.
it started off with just taking a couple shots just to get through, what my day, and that turned, and then my tolerance started to build, from doing it pretty much every single day. And so I was pretty much like drinking like a lot each day. And so, and it was like a cycle of negativity, because even like after drinking so much, I would start to get paranoid about my health. And I would be like, I would go to the actually a lot of times I would go to the gym drunk, because it was just part of my day. And I would try to be discreet as much as about it, and try to hide it from like my friends and family and stuff like that. I didn't want anyone to know, I was drinking as much as I did. And so I think that's why I started doing it. It was just to really get that feeling out of my system, my stomach, that sick
Yeah.
feeling.
And what are other ways, like more healthy ways to do this, to get this out from your experience?
Well, one thing I was really just kind of like praying for was like peace. I realized that all this was happening is because I didn't have any peace. And
Mm.
um and one way to get that is to honestly just to really be grateful, like to really channel like deep down, like what you're really grateful for, not just writing things down that are random, like, oh, I love my dog and my brothers and my parents. It's like that's great to be grateful for those, but you have to really focus on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for
Yeah.
example, instead of just writing down, I'm grateful for my two little brothers. Instead of that, I would think about all the fun trips that we took together. You know what I'm saying? And just like really
Mhm.
start to reminisce and just get that positive feeling. Like, yeah, that was like really cool. I'm glad we got to do that. So that's like a huge difference, besides just like writing it down or just thinking of random positive things.
Yeah, I love that, and I'm in my experience, it's been the same. Like we're really getting into the experience of
Hmm.
grateful and really appreciating it, and not just okay, you're just writing things down without
Yeah.
actually being involved.
Yeah. Because I did that in the past and it just didn't work for me. I was just
Yeah,
like, I still feel
exactly,
the same. I was like, this didn't change anything. But yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I think it's very powerful, and it's great that it actually um, it's not just about you. Like when you get to do this, you get to see other people differently and appreciate them differently. At least this has been my experience, because you see them from that point of view, from the appreciation that you have for them. And I think that's one of the things that are amazing about gratitude, and about the relationship we have with other people when we focus on these things.
Right.
Awesome. So, um, if you could go back in time, like when you were
Hmm.
younger and you weren't really listening to these kinds of things like gratitude and things of this nature, what
Hmm.
would you tell your younger self about gratitude?
What I tell my younger self, that honestly there's just like a lot to be like grateful for, and like when you like that's like a great way to find happiness, I would say. I would tell
Mhm.
myself like you need gratitude to have happiness, because once you realize the amazing things that you do have in your life, like it's hard to be sad, about your current situations or whatever. So I would just say that it makes a big difference. you know
Yeah, definitely. You started mentioning a few people in your life that you're grateful for. Can you um, would you like to share with us the people in your life that you're grateful for and why you're grateful for them?
yeah, I mean, I would say like family is very typical, because my family, of course, I'm grateful for them, you know. But outside of that, I would say like one one person I'm really grateful for. His name is Brandon Smith. He lives in Detroit, and he basically was, I don't know how to explain it. He's basically like my coach on stage, and
Mhm.
he's kind of like my mentor in a way. And he took me to a whole new level with my career, and he does a lot of amazing work with artists in Detroit. And so he made like a huge difference. And without him, like I don't know, how I would be today. You know what I'm saying? Like the way I carry myself on stage with fans, and just like he taught me so much. And and then another like really big one for me is God. I have like a relationship with God where I talk to him basically every single day, and uh, I would say he's definitely like my number one. you know?
Yeah, that's wonderful, and I think it's a great idea to know that we can have this kind of relationship with our creator, and the
Hmm.
fact that we we are many times actually grateful for him, or for all of the things that we've been given naturally. For instance, we can be grateful for our parents, of course, but also we have this beautiful earth that we've been given, that we are living in, and all of these resources that from which we've created basically everything that we see around us. So yeah, definitely it's an important part of who we are as humans, and seeing that we are not alone basically in this. And yeah, I think it's really important to have this kind of relationship. And yeah, I love that you mentioned your coach, because one of the reasons why I love to ask this question is because we, even though we might be very talented, amazing people, we can't do it alone. And we always have
Absolutely.
someone that without whom we wouldn't be where we are right now. And
Hmm.
I think that's an important reminder for all of us, for our listeners, for me, that we are here today where we are in this situation, and experience the kind of success that we are experiencing thanks to our talents and our hard work, but also to other people that have contributed one way or another, in a smaller or a bigger way. So yeah, I love that you mentioned that.
Hmm.
So
Sure.
um, let us know a little bit more about how you got to create this amazing single. Like, um, what were you thinking? Like, for whom you thought this would be impactful and helpful? Because I know that it comes from a beautiful place, and it's really um, interesting for me to find out the creative process.
Yeah. Well, at first, I didn't even want to uh, release the song. I usually write using my phone recorder, and I had like the melody and the chorus. Like I knew I wanted to write about my situation with like substance abuse. I just wanted to like express it, and I kind of wrote a little bit of it, and then I just kind of moved on. I didn't want to release it because I was like, I don't want to tell people that I got issues with anything like that, you know. And so like, you know, it's the social media. I gotta look perfect, right? But no,
Exactly. Yeah.
I was just like, I really don't want to write this song, you know. And I was like writing other songs, and then something just kept bringing me back to that song, you know. And I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna write it, release it. And I was like really nervous, you know. I even shot a music video to the song as well, and you know, I just felt like I felt like it was a good thing for me to put the song out, and I definitely received a lot of amazing, um, you know, just like a lot of my fans just they loved the song a lot, and they told me that the song meant a lot to them, you know.
Mhm.
And I got to
Yeah.
listen to their stories, you know, through like Instagram direct messages, and they got to tell me, you know, what they were going through, and it was just like really cool. It's like, wow, I didn't think it was gonna make that much of an impact on people, you know. Like people like really looked deep into the lyrics, and they felt like the song was like talking to them,
Hmm.
and which I kind of wanted it to be like that because, like I said, you know, I'm not alone, and I know other people are going through this. So with me writing this through like my perspective, I knew a lot of people would feel like the song is talking to them, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing how these experiences that we're sharing actually start a conversation, and people you might not even think are going through some kind of similar situation are actually going through that, and you might be helping them one way or another. And
Hmm.
I think that's amazing, and it's a big part of um, the impact that music can have on us, and can help us go through these kinds of situations where it it's hard because when I think one of the hardest things for people that are going through substance abuse and anxiety, depression is um, being alone and feeling alone, even if they are not alone physically,
Mm,
and the fact that they somehow isolate, whether physically or just emotionally or mentally. And I believe that this is why it's so powerful, because when you listen to a song, you are somehow safe, and you can still feel what you feel. Because I think one of the things that is is very important in practicing gratitude is not ignoring these feelings, like giving them their time and feeling them, because otherwise they will just bottle up, and um, they will appear in different kinds of situations if we don't do that. And I believe that music is a great way of helping us realize and feel those feelings and let them come to the surface, feel them, and afterwards we can find gratitude more easily. What's your take on this?
mhm. Um, uh, okay, actually, can you rephrase that question a little bit for me?
Yeah, so um, I just wanted to give you a perspective of how I see this process, and how your music, your song is helping people. And I was curious about your perspective on how this works for the listeners, and how this impacts them, in the sense that
Yeah.
without actually l- living and experiencing those feelings, it's really hard to have the space for gratitude.
Hmm. Right. I just feel like it's like something a lot of people can like relate to, when they're like
Mm-hmm.
hearing certain songs like this. And just I feel like when people feel that type of connection, like for example, like listening to my song Novocaine, they feel that type of connection. They just feel like you know, that they are normal, and that what they're going through is okay, that they can eventually, get out of it or eventually find help. And I just feel like like it means a lot to get feedback from people letting me know that like it got help them get through a bad day or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is important because it's part of our human experience. And since we have these kinds of feelings, we can also, um, by feeling them, we can acknowledge them and let them go. And when we do that, we can find the space and the openness to see other things, and to see other possibilities, like for gratitude and for more appreciation in our life. And I think that's an important part of that. So we are nearing the end of our time together. um, thank you so much for being on the Gratitude Podcast, and for sharing your experience, and
Yeah, absolutely.
for sharing so much about who you are and what you went through, and for being so vulnerable with us. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate you, man. Thank you.
yeah, let us know where our audience can find you.
Yep. I'm mainly on. You can find my music on like all platforms. You can find all my music videos on YouTube, just with my name Nate Setto, and my main social media that I use is Instagram. So you can find me at Nate_Setto, which is NATE_SETTO.
Awesome. And definitely, I love Novocaine. I love the video. I love the song, and
Thank you,
I
man.
I definitely encourage our listeners check it out because it's really powerful, and yeah, it's very well
That,
appreciated by many people. So
yeah, that means a lot, man. Thank you so much.
yeah, sure. So thank you once again for being here with us and for sharing all of these wonderful ideas. I really appreciate it, and I wish you an amazing day.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, man.
This episode has been brought to you by yours truly. Support this podcast by purchasing the How to Experience Abundance Through Gratitude course, and you'll be going from lack to abundance in 7 weeks with easy and fun exercises. Plus, the commitment is less than 10 minutes per day. It's only $50 and you can get it on georgianbenta.com/abundance or just visit the link in the description.